devastated.
Yeah, you can use it the same way. Yeah, devastated or in shambles. Yeah, yeah.
Can I say my life after this my life was devastated.
Yeah, yeah.
Same
I was devastated. I was in shambles. You can use it the same way, pretty much. Um, yeah, it's to say something. It can be physically or emotionally, or just to describe the situation. Um, something is doing horribly. Just so much that it's just falling apart, not keeping together very well. So the example says the city is in shambles after a huge earthquake struck it. Another famous example is in the 1930s, during the Great Depression in the U.S., the stock market was in shambles. Number two, overall. Overall is a type of clothing that like farmers wear or people that do like hard manual labor, and the strap goes over and it connects your pants.
멜빵 바지.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we call that 멜빵 바지.
Also, some of our favorite 90s hip hop groups would wear overalls. I don't know if anyone was alive other than me and you, but that's an old fashion that was popular back then. Super Mario Brothers, Mario and Luigi were wearing overalls in the game. Number three, fad is a temporary fashion. It's basically something that is popular for a short time and then it just stops. So there's always a new fad. In fact, we call it, like, in a negative way, we say something is the latest fad. I don't know what's the latest fad right now, but a lot of times, especially like younger people, maybe when kids first started going to the PC Bang a lot, maybe that was the latest fad at the time. And well, actually, that kind of lasted a long time. But yeah.
Twitter.
Twitter? Yeah, Twitter. Yeah, Twitter's kind of a fad. Was Cyworld a fad? Okay. So basically, it's just something that kind of goes out of style, and it can be for fashion. It can be for an event. It can be for even a phrase. Sometimes there's a fad for phrases. People will say stuff a lot. So I remember in the 90s, we would say the phrase hella sometimes. That's hella cool.
Hello?
Hella.
Hello.
Yeah, hella.
Hello.
Yeah. Hella. And then we stopped using it because it was just a fad. But in California, people still use that a lot. They still, yeah. So California is not a fad, but in the rest of the U.S., it was a fad to say hella.
How about whatever the hell? Do you think it's a fad?
No, people have been saying that forever. Maybe since the 50s until now, people still say it.
Since the 50s?
Yeah, I think, for a long time.
Just change it.
The what?
The meaning.
The meaning changed a little bit because people say it now to be cool. Before it was just sort of, to express some strong emotion.
The form has changed, like what the hell to whatever the hell. Is that right? Or
Kind of, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. You can still say what the hell, but whatever the hell. Yeah.
sound more intelligent.
Whatever.
Because in the Fit is an intelligent guy and he used this, maybe yeah.
Sound cool.
Yeah, sound cool.
Number 4, single-handedly. Single-handedly is to do something alone, by yourself. So if you're talking about, I was playing StarCraft last night and I single-handedly beat the game, meaning I beat the game all by myself. Number 5, to be hooked on something is to be addicted to something. So hooked comes from like the term from like fishing. You hook something and can't get away. So we say it for like, I'm hooked on this new song. I keep listening to it over and over again. The new song from Psy, I'm hooked on it. I got it from my dad. I'm so hooked on it. But in the maybe 60s to 80s, it had kind of a negative meaning to say, because when you were talking about somebody being hooked on something, you were talking about them being hooked on drugs or alcohol. So at that time, people would say it like in a negative way. Are you hooked on something? And just it had a real negative meaning. Now it's people use it like normally again. And then 6, write-off. A write-off is basically when something is a complete failure, just does horrible, and then you just say, okay, let's just forget about it. Just no more effort with that. We're just going to move on. That's a write-off. So, a write-off, what's a good example of a write-off? When a car company comes out with a new product, like a new car, and they think, oh, this is going to be the best car ever, and they market the car, and then everyone says, oh, what the hell is this? This is a horrible car, this is a horrible product, what were they thinking? The next year they stop selling it, they just write it off. All that time, all that research and development, all that time producing the vehicle, and people hated it so much that it affected the car company's image, so they consider a write-off. And actually, a lot of times we use the expression consider it a write-off, or consider that a write-off. So it's if something just failed and you're just going to forget it and move on, it's considered a write-off. Or if a company tries to start a new market and it fails, they consider it a write-off. Do you know Google Plus? Yeah.
SNS.
The Google SNS. They're going to abandon that and consider it a write-off. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, our vocabulary of the day. Let's try in shambles. Yeah, something that's doing horribly. Let's also try single-handedly, all alone, and let's also try fad, a temporary fashion.